Hey guys, Corporal G here, coming at you from the COC in Kentucky. Today we're going to be painting some German infantry. First, we're going to start off with what we need. We're going to need a candle, a lighter, some pin nails. That's just for basing the guy or painting him. Some glue. Some painter's tape to put the glue on so it's an easy cleanup. And some pliers that have some colors on there. We're going to start by lighting the candle. They're just tea candles, real cheap. We're going to grab our pin nail, we're going to heat that up and put it in the foot. Now be careful not to overheat the nail and just destroy the foot. I've done that a few times, but it's an easy fix. You can also take a hand drill and drill a hole in the foot. That's kind of more hard for me. I just feel like this way is quicker and faster. And I'm just used to it. So I'm going to do that. And sometimes some excess plastic comes out. And when we glue the nail, we'll just pop the nail out. Use an X-Acto knife to take that excess plastic off. And then we'll take the pin nail, rip it out, dip it in glue like I'm showing here. Put that pin nail back in the foot. And we're going to wipe off that excess glue with a paper towel. Just use the edge of it. And there we go, we just pinned our infantry. And we're going to keep them on there so we can put it on some candlesticks. Right now we're going to prime, just use the spray paint. And we're going on to our first step. As you can see, I pinned the guys on some candlesticks there to make it easier to show on camera. So we got field gray from War Painters, and we got German field gray from Vallejo. We're going to use the Vallejo model. So you can just lather it all on there. You don't got to be neat. A flat brush works very well on this step, along with the pants and boots and the helmet. But I think we're going to stick with one or two brushes today. This one only took one coat. I try and get real thick paint so I don't have to do multiple coats. It's really fast. It's a whole lot faster when you're batch painting 20 to 40 guys. So here's the pants, London gray. It's pretty close to our primer, but we're going to paint it anyway for uniformity. Again, just one coat makes life a whole lot easier. And the more simple it is, the easier it is to start painting. Don't need to get crazy into detail. And these guys are so small. They're mainly used for playing purposes. You don't have to be crazy into it with a magnifying glass or anything like that. Alright, next we're going to paint their boots. Necromancer cloak from Army Painters or Vallejo black gray. The reason we don't use black is because you can't go any darker than black. So we're going to put some black gray on there. And we do a wash or anything like that. The boots, the crevices or whatever, will get inside the wash wheel and make it pop more. So, and you can add more highlights to it, just a little bit more flashy, but you can use black if you want to. Just know you can't go any darker. Once that's taken care of, we're going to start with the webbing. We're going to use green, gray, or khaki. You can kind of mix them up, get a little variety to your guys, or just use khaki or just use green, gray. First, we're going to start with the canteen cover. Paint that khaki. None of that canteen cover, there's a bread bag. We're going to paint that as well. And don't forget about the strap with the bread bag. This is probably the tedious part of the whole step, of the whole process, I mean. You got to be pretty careful, kind of slow, to slow things down. And take your time. Oh, and I forgot to mention with the black gray, don't forget to paint their ammo pouches right there in the front, or any black leather. And if you mess up, just get your field gray and paint right over it. Right now we're going to paint their bedroll. I decided khaki for this one. was kind of lazy, didn't want to wash my brush out. And you want to wash your brush after 2 or 3 pieces. Alright, here's some rifle color or stock color. I'm going to use beige brown. You can use like a red brown or an oak brown, whatever your heart desires. This one's pretty easy. It goes on in 1 coat. Again, I'm trying to go fast here, or make the process fast. I'm just going to slather the whole rifle. You don't have to if you know where the gun parts are, the gunmetal parts are. Don't paint it. But I just like to paint the whole rifle. It makes it easier for me. And I just like the color of beige brown. But some other colors you guys can look at, some cavalry brown, that's more of a red, and the oak brown is a really nice color. Really like using cavalry brown for some Russian rifles. Gives more of that reddish look. Oh, as you can see, I forgot to paint the shovel handle. That happens. Alright, now we're going to paint the gunmetal. Use some Vallejo black. This stuff is pretty thick, so be careful. So we are going to go as dark as possible here. Paint the barrel tip, the action where the bolt is, the iron sights, the buttstock. Sometimes there's little rings on the rifle. This guy's not very detailed. We're going to try to make do. Also the trigger guard, the magazine on the bottom. This guy's a little more detailed and it pops out more to see it. So we get more into that rifle there. And you can stop at this part if you want to, but we're going to take it a step further. Again, it's not necessary. Once you get that black down, it's pretty good. Alright, we're getting some gunmetal. You can use this instead of the black if you want to. We're going to do a dry brush technique right here. We're just going to put the paint on the paper towel. Take a dry brush. Usually a makeup brush is the best. Get that paint on all over the brush. I'm going to wipe off all the excess to where we're barely seeing anything. And once we get that brush the way we want it, we're going to just lightly brush over that black. Doesn't take much at all. Just real light brush strokes. And this will make the gunmetal pop out a little bit more. And you don't gotta do it with every black spot, just the main parts. Alright, now we're gonna paint their other metal parts that are painted. So German camo dark green. And that's for their helmet, their canteen cap, don't forget that. Gas mask canister, their field tin or their mess tin. So here's our gas mask canister. Make sure we get all the sides. Alright, here's our helmet. Don't forget to paint on the brim. You don't have to. I'm the kind of guy, like, if I'm doing the piece, might as well go for it, you know what I mean? It's just going to make me a little bit better. But you're just cranking these guys out, don't worry about that under the brim. And here's a flamethrower. Now you can paint this in a more of a dark German dark yellow color. I decided to just use the green, the same theme. Kind of imagine these guys on the Eastern Front. And their mess tin sometimes is under their bedroll. You'll see that soon. And you don't have to use the candlesticks. You can use your hands and just hold it with your hands, but this makes it a little bit easier. Alright, here's some Nolan oil. We're just going to slap that all over the place. And if you're too heavy with it, just take a paper towel and dab it on the piece. This makes everything pop. All that oil is going to seep in into the nooks and crannies. And make sure all your paint's dry when you add this. And this step, you want to add some highlights afterwards. Just take your color that you use, your base color, and just maybe add a little bit white or a lighter green or a lighter gray, and then I'll make your piece pop. Alright, let's move on to the skin. We're going to use some tan flesh, and with that we're going to use a flesh wash and a light wash. Just give it more pop. Or you can just do the tan flesh and use the non-oil all over it and not worry about this step. I like to use the flesh wash in the soft tone or light tone. Be pretty careful on this part. Be careful with under that brim of the helmet. Sometimes their skin's so far in there that it's kind of hard to paint. And sometimes I will paint the skin before I paint anything else. That's how I'm used to start painting. But once that's done, we're going to let that dry. And we're just going to move on to the next step. We're going to add some weathering effects. This one, use dirt spatter. It's pretty light. I'm using the dry brush technique. I can just slap it in there, go to town. I can even dab it and not even wipe off, and just dab it on the piece, wipe off my excess, and just take that I dabbed it on there and just go to town on it. And once that's dry, we can go back to the skin, knock out this flesh wash and give it some depth. And we are basically done. Oh, forgot a step. We're going to do a clear coat. You can use spray can or a rattle can. This is the best for a matte finish. We're just going to use a matte finish on with the paintbrush. It's going to come out milky white, but it'll dry clear. Just doing this step to, there's only 4 guys. Just don't need to go outside and spray paint them. One or 2 coats should be good. Alright, now once they're dry, we're going to baste these guys. We're going to clip off those nails with those pliers. Put it in the hole that we drilled out. Take that instant glue accelerator, which is awesome. Hold them upside down and just spray upwards. And it dries real fast. And once you do that, that's your finished piece. Now your guys are ready to play, ready to go in the box. If I was you, I would let them cure for a little bit, especially with that glue. Maybe a day or 2. But there you go. Hope you guys had a good time watching. You learned something, and hopefully get you guys painting more. That's all I got. You guys have a good one.